Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from reaching your goals? I have used professionals to help me perform my best in the cage. Now, our show sponsor, BetterHelp, can help you perform better in life. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist in just 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's a professional counseling done securely online at your convenience from anywhere in the world. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 14,000 plus counselor network. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room again. It's more affordable than traditional online counseling, and financial aid is available. Visit betterhelp.com/Chael to save 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp to join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with help from an experienced professional. Aljo versus Petr Yan. I realize it's March, but this is the downplay of 2021. You have a fighter who was so egregious in cheating that he was disqualified, that his opponent was taken to the hospital, and that he had his belt taken away. Allegedly, and in fairness, I do need to say allegedly, we don't know, but it was told to us that his licensed cornerman told him to do it. You then have the third licensed official, known as the referee, who took 3 minutes to make a decision. He took 3 minutes when an athlete was down, could have been seeking medical attention, was believed to be concussed, to the fact that a doctor came in the ring and told him to stay down and not stand up. And the referee is asking the fighter to make the decision if he wants to continue. All of a sudden, it is deemed as though it was an accident and blown off. And it was blown off for the simple reason that the fighter who cheated was winning. I happen to believe, by the way, before you think I'm the skunk at the garden party, I happen to believe that interpretation was right. I happen to think an error was just made, but I'm here to tell you there's only a couple of things you can't do. Don't bite the guy, and don't kick the son of a bitch when he's down. So when a licensed athlete does it, allegedly because his licensed cornerman told him, and a licensed referee can't make the call, literally takes 3 minutes to make the... Why would we possibly ask Aljo if he wants to go on? Then there was a narrative going around of how should a title possibly change hands on disqualification? How should it change hands? If a champion could not be disqualified, what incentive would a champion ever have now or in the future to follow a rule? Do I really need to answer that question? Can the title change hands? And I will just tell you, this is inconsistent. This is wildly inconsistent. Okay, let me give you a hypothetical and a literal all at the same time. I'm going to change this story just a little bit, but it's an example you will understand. When Mike Tyson was getting his ass kicked by Evander Holyfield, now here's the hypothetical. Imagine Mike Tyson was the champion of the world, and this was a world championship fight. Mike Tyson's getting his ass kicked by Evander Holyfield. He gets so frustrated that he bites his ear off. And then we're going to say we shouldn't disqualify him, or by the way, if we do disqualify him, we don't take the belt off him. Guess what the commission did there? They brought him in and they took the license off the son of a bitch for 11 months. That's what they did. There's not very many things that you can't do. It's wildly inconsistent. By the way, Victor Ortiz was losing against Floyd Mayweather, lost his cool, and headbutted Floyd. The commission brought him in, and Pat Lundvall said, and I quote, "What in the hell were you thinking?" Now, the good old days of Nevada being ran with the extreme integrity of the great Pat Lundvall or even the great Bill Brady, I realize these are the things in the past, but you had three licensed personnel tonight. A fighter who cheated, one of only 2 rules you can't do, allegedly, emphasis on that, a cornerman who told him to do it, and ultimately a referee who couldn't make the decision to call the thing and wanted to turn to a fighter who's down. who's laying down and rolling like this, and you got a referee trying to ask, hey, what do you want to do? Tell me what to do. Should I let the fight keep going? This is insane. And you have the commission sitting there doing nothing about it. By the way, if I'm TJ Dillashaw, I ain't letting this go. And I don't have a whole lot of time, but I'm not letting it go. You're telling me, TJ Dillashaw, I don't get a fight for the title. Why? Oh, because I cheated? Okay. And you're saying that Petr Yan has to fight for a title next. And why? Because he cheated? What? What? I don't get a title fight. He's guaranteed one. I don't get it because I cheated. I served a suspension. I had tremendous punishment. He's guaranteed one because he cheated? Somebody's got to explain this to me. And the reason I bring in the Mike Tyson example and the reason I bring in the Victor Ortiz example is because it was believed that they were unsportsmanlike because they were losing the fight and therefore they had lost their cool, which, by the way, is the right conclusion. However, it was reviewed. It was investigated. They spoke to people under oath. They brought the tape in. They watched it and rewatched it. It is believed. With zero review by the Nevada State Athletic Commission that Petr Yan did this on accident. And why? Because he was winning on the scorecards. You don't know what his mindset was. One of the incompetent judges actually had him losing the fight. I realize that that's fiction, and I realize that Petr Yan looks like a very sweet guy that threw a knee that he really didn't mean to do. I understand all of these things. What I'm talking about is perception being reality, and the perception being that, oh, poor little Peter must have done this on absolute accident because he was winning. Meanwhile, Victor Ortiz is a scumbag because he was losing. Maybe it was an accidental headbutt. What business is it of yours? Between him and the commission, but there would always be a review. Back in the day of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, I am telling you, back in the day of the brilliant and beautiful Pat Lundvall, back in the day of the man filled with integrity in Bill Brady, that commission was ran so much differently. And they would just simply ask questions. They would review things. They would talk to people under oath. And they would give them the benefit of the doubt. They would take them at their word, but they would swear them in first. 3 people touched this fight. A licensed fighter, allegedly a cornerman, a licensed referee. They stunk the place up. Nothing happened. That is inconsistent. And that is my only claim. My only claim here is that is inconsistent. The press conferences happen. Dana said, look, we're going to run this thing back and we're going to do it as soon as possible. So it looks as though I'm standing on second base wearing a catcher's mitt. But if I'm TJ Dillashaw, I got 24 hours and I am not going to stop swinging. I am not going to let that narrative go. And even if I come up short by Monday morning or by the new news cycle that's going to break on ESPN with Errol and the Bad Guy Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern, I'm fighting until then. You're saying I cheated, I don't get a chance. You're saying he gets a chance and he cheated. I sent nobody to the hospital. He did. You're saying he didn't know it was illegal. Great. I'm saying I didn't know it was illegal. That's been ruled for John Jones, who was on steroids. They ruled it was tainted. He didn't know. They had an investigation, though, and they ruled it. Where are we looking into this one? Aljamain doesn't know where he is. He has to go to the emergency room. Don't bite the son of a bitch, and don't kick him while he's down. Does it really matter if it was on accident? Heed this however you want. It is inconsistent with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. It is inconsistent with combat sport. If I'm TJ Dillashaw, I am not accepting that. Not until I have to. And I don't have to accept it right now. I cheated. I was punished 2 years ago. I had a whole bunch of things taken from me. He cheated tonight. His cornerman allegedly told him to cheat. These boys, I waited 2 years and had everything taken from me. These boys can wait 2 months. Me and Aljo got business to do. I'm going to make that argument. I don't know if it's going to stick. I don't know. I don't know how much I'm stretching right now. But I was stunned. I really was stunned at the inconsistency. I was stunned with the inconsistency of the commission. I wouldn't let it go. And I do not think just because you perceive an athlete as winning and therefore you perceive his foul was not on purpose. Listen, it happened and somebody went to the ER. Do what you want with that. I'm not a prude on these things, but there is no part of that in this sport or this history of the sport or any precedence that is said that if you cheat and have your belt taken away, you, by golly, are promised a rematch.